Mr. Speaker, sir, the Cybersecurity Bill is a forward-looking piece of legislation that ensures that our laws keep pace with the threats that we face as a nation. The year 2017 has been called the year of the data breach. Even within the first 6 months of 2017, the number of records stolen and breaches numbered almost 2 billion, even more than the whole of 2016, which was 1.4 billion. New malware reached an all-time high of 57.6 million in the third quarter of 2017, according to McAfee Labs Threat Report, December 2017. This is not just a matter of privacy or lost personal data. There are financial security proprietary interests at stake. A class action suit was instituted in the United States last year against Equifax for data breach. They allege that criminals used the stolen data to apply for mortgages, credit cards, student loans, tap into bank debit accounts, file insurance claims, and rack up substantial debts. Stolen identity also poses an international problem, a terrorist problem. Last month, Thai police arrested a man who allegedly forged passports, including Singapore passports, for groups including a terrorist group. Furthermore, breaches in cybersecurity can have debilitating effects to essential services. WannaCry, the first ransomware worm, crippled the healthcare system in England. It shut down computers in more than 80 NHS organizations in England alone, cancelling almost 20,000 appointments in an appointment-based healthcare system. 5 hospitals resorted to diverting ambulances, unable to handle any more emergency cases. So what we're debating today is serious. WannaCry was a ransomware worm, and by worm, we are talking about a malware program that is able to self-replicate to infect other computers and infiltrate through the connections in a computer network. The NotPaya in Ukraine, which utilized a hacked version of a major accounting program widely used in Ukraine, affected companies in many different sectors, from shipping to pharmaceuticals and to outside Ukraine through multinational companies. Worse still, NotPaya encrypts files with no chance of recovery. That is, it was not a ransomware. In Stuxnet, a different computer work caused a proportion of machinery in Iran's nuclear facility to spin out of control in 2010. This cyber attack was executed through infected USBs, overcoming the air gap. Since then, new methods to jump over an air gap has emerged. No sector has been spared cyber attacks, with commercial and healthcare sector targeted the most. This threat is not something remote to Singapore. The threat is real and palpable. Although Singapore's critical infrastructure was not hit by WannaCry, Singapore malls were among the victims of that ransomware. Within the past 5 years, there were notable occasions of security breaches. In 2014, Singapore's Ministry of Foreign Affairs IT system had been breached. 1,500 SingPass user IDs and passwords were reported to be potentially compromised and illegally accessed. In 2017, 850 MINDEF personnel's NRIC numbers, birth dates, and telephone numbers were stolen following a cyber attack. Additionally, NUS and NTU reported an attack by Advanced Persistent Threats, or APT actors, that sought to steal research and government-related information. These and many other instances are like red flashing lights warning us to be vigilant. So I concur with Professor Yaacob Ibrahim's point that we need to act, and we need to act now. Cybersecurity threats are nearer than we think. They could hit us faster than we can react, and they could hit us harder than we can imagine. Therefore, this forward-looking bill goes upstream to secure our information infrastructure through preventive and reactive compliance, so as to give us the upper hand, an arsenal we can deploy against those who seek to do us harm. Some key features of this bill's regulatory framework include: 1, reporting and investigating of breaches to facilitate damage and prevent future occurrences under clauses 14, 19, and 20. 2, licensing of cybersecurity service providers in Part 5. And 3, regular auditing under Clause 15 to ensure compliance and accountability. To facilitate accountability and promote compliance, Clause 45 protects informers' identities. In today's age of technology, more infrastructure is being built, not from concrete and steel, but rather in the realm of intangible cyberspace. This trajectory is bound to continue as Singapore moves towards being a smart nation. Some of the future initiatives announced recently include digitalizing of healthcare records even at the level of a private general practitioner through the National Electronic Health Record and the promoting of cashless payments. As we seek to increase leveraging on the conveniences and prowess of modern technology, it is critical that we protect and prevent attacks and crises from threatening our cyber infrastructure. The important place they have in the running of our country is reflected in this bill's designation of critical information infrastructure. This designation spans 11 broad areas of essential services set out in its first schedule. Cybersecurity in a computer network would only be as strong as the weakest link. A single vulnerability may be exploited to infect other areas and other computers in the network. Since computer networks extend beyond territorial boundaries and cyber attacks know no physical boundaries, Clause 3 of this bill extends regulation to computer networks that are wholly or partly in Singapore. This bill has been carefully calibrated for a consistent framework over the different sectors, yet providing space for flexibility for purpose-oriented, sector-suited roles and practices. For example, the Commissioner's written directions may be issued to a class of critical information infrastructure owners under Clause 12.1. The Commissioner to direct more frequent audit above the 2 years in any particular case under Clause 15.1, subsection A. The bill also provides for flexible codes of practice under Clause 11 to be promulgated to promote best practices in cybersecurity. It is important that this regulatory skeleton provides sufficient flexibility to accommodate for changes in the realm of cyberspace and allow for careful calibration of regulation in the future. If there is too much regulations or too many regulations, the higher threshold to entry may perhaps shrink our well of cybersecurity expertise to draw from, harming our cybersecurity resilience, for example, through an over-reliance on a single provider, which may multiply knock-on effects of a breach. Hence, the regulatory framework, in my view, needs to remain flexible for future refinement of regulatory controls. This flexibility is especially crucial because technology is an ever-evolving landscape. Cybersecurity depends on innovation to keep up, keep ahead, and remain effective. Recently, MINDEF invited white hat hackers to hack into MINDEF's internet-facing domains. This method of exposing vulnerabilities maximized the talent pool available locally and overseas. The non-prohibitive cost estimated at $100,000 compared to up to $1 million for hiring a dedicated vulnerability assessment team. This is attractive fiscally. Would the Minister clarify how this bill would affect non-mainstream methods of strengthening cybersecurity, such as white hats? In this fast-changing technology-connected world, this bill provides the preventive complement to the Deterrent Computer Misuse and Cybersecurity Act. It's a complement to that act. It places our country to better respond to, prevent, and secure the integrity of our computer systems through strong yet flexible regulatory framework. And for these reasons, Mr. Speaker, I strongly support the bill.